There is nothing quite like it. You walk into a dealership for the very first time, you pick out the exact car you want, and you drive home feeling like, well, an absolute adult. It's a huge milestone. But what happens behind closed doors in that finance office? Well, it's often a masterclass in separating you from your hard-earned money. So let's dive into this explainer and see how an exciting life event can incredibly quickly turn into a devastating financial trap, and more importantly, how you can avoid it. Quick heads up before we get into the weeds, though, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes, not financial advice. Car prices, loan rates, all of that varies massively by market and your personal credit score. So definitely consult a professional for your specific situation before making any major purchase decisions. Okay, let's get into it. Picture this scenario. The salesperson runs your credit, comes back and says, "Great news. Your monthly payment is $650. Does that fit the budget?" You say yes. You sign a stack of paperwork and grab the keys. What you are completely unaware of in that moment is that you just agreed to overpay by $14,000 over the life of that loan. And here's the crazy part. You didn't pick the wrong car, and you didn't get scammed in some illegal back alley way. Nope. You just made 5 specific mistakes that the dealership was literally counting on you making. To understand how this all goes down, we first need to look at the 2026 car market trap and kind of set the scene for what buyers are facing right now. The numbers explain exactly why this environment is such a minefield. The average new car, it now costs a staggering $48,841, while used cars are sitting right around $26,000. And since 80% of buyers are financing these massive purchases, the interest rates are absolutely making or breaking deals. Look at that massive gap based on credit scores. Super prime borrowers are seeing rates around 6.3%, but deep subprime borrowers are getting hammered with nearly 22%. When you combine enormous loan amounts with high interest rates plus the high-pressure environment of a showroom floor, unprepared first-time buyers are perfectly positioned to get taken for a ride. Which brings us directly to mistake number 1, dealership financing. This is, without a doubt, the most expensive error you can make. The absolute most crucial concept to understand here is the buy rate. See, most people don't realize that when you finance through a dealership, the dealer isn't actually lending you their own money. They're just a middleman. They get a base interest rate from a network of lenders. That's your actual buy rate. But they don't just hand that rate over to you. Oh no, it is entirely legal for them to mark up that interest rate and pocket the difference as pure commission. That markup averages between $1,500 and $3,000 over the life of your loan. So the dealer is literally incentivized to give you a higher interest rate. But the fix for this? It's incredibly straightforward, yet so few people actually do it. If you spend just a couple of hours getting pre-approved at a local credit union before you ever step foot on a dealership lot, you completely flip the power dynamic. Credit unions consistently offer interest rates that are 2 to 4% lower than what a dealer will offer you. Why? Because they're member-owned. They aren't trying to squeeze extra profit out of your interest rate like a finance manager is. Walking in with that pre-approval strips the finance office of all its leverage. On a typical $48,000 loan, securing a rate that's just 3% lower can easily save you up to $3,800 in pure interest. When you slide that pre-approval across the desk, the dealer has a choice. They can either beat your rate with a special manufacturer promotion, which is awesome for you, or they just lose your financing business entirely. Either way, you win, and you keep thousands of dollars right in your own pocket. Okay, let's move on to mistake number 2, negotiating based on the monthly payment. This tactic hides the true cost of a car in plain sight. If you tell a salesperson, "Hey, I need my payment under $650 a month," you have just handed them the keys to your wallet. Let's look at how the loan math actually plays out. Take a $40,000 car. At 60 months with a 7% APR, your payment is $792. Okay, maybe that's too high for your budget. So the dealer says, "Great news, we worked some magic and got your payment down to $626. How'd they do it? By stretching the loan out to 84 months. That is a full 7 years, and often at a slightly higher interest rate. You feel like a winner because a monthly payment went down, but secretly, your total interest paid just skyrocketed from around $7,500 to over $12,500. You are paying an extra $5,000 for the exact same car. So here is the golden rule you have to remember. Never, ever negotiate the monthly payment. You have to lock in the absolute lowest out-the-door purchase price of the vehicle first. We're talking taxes, fees, the whole shebang. Only after you've agreed to that final purchase price in writing do you even mention financing. You basically have to treat buying the car and financing the car as 2 totally separate transactions. All right, mistake number 3,
buying brand new and taking that massive depreciation hit.
Now, I get it. This mistake is deeply cultural. We all love that new car smell. But demanding a brand new vehicle is hands down the fastest way to vaporize your net worth. The exact second you drive a new car off the lot, it loses approximately 20% of its value. Literally, thousands of dollars in value just vanish on the drive to your house. And then in year 2, it loses another 10 to 15%. You are paying absolute top dollar to absorb the steepest, most punishing part of a car's lifespan. To put that into perspective, when you compare that $48,000 average new car to a 3-year-old version of the exact same model, you can often find a 30 to 40% discount. Now, yes, it's true that used car loans in 2026 have slightly higher average APRs, hovering around 12%. But even with that, a certified 3-year-old vehicle will still cost you meaningfully less over a 5-year period. Why? Because some other guy already took that massive depreciation hit for you. You get a completely reliable, practically new vehicle for a fraction of the lifetime cost. Which brings us to our final 2 mistakes: falling into the underwater trap and completely ignoring the total cost of ownership. We touched on those 84-month loans just a minute ago, but mistake number 4 is specifically falling for that 7-year loan trap. When you extend your auto loan to 7 or even 8 years, your car is depreciating significantly faster than your loan balance is actually going down. This virtually guarantees that in years 3, 4, and 5, you will be what's called underwater, meaning you owe the bank way more money than the car is actually worth. If life throws you a curveball, say you lose your job or you get into a bad crash and total the car, you are completely trapped. You literally can't sell the car without writing a check out of your own savings just to cover the difference. And mistake number 5 is ignoring the hidden costs of ownership. Most buyers only look at the loan payment. Big mistake. AA data shows the average total cost of owning a new vehicle is $11,577 every single year. That's an extra $965 a month. I mean, if you're a first-time buyer under 25, your insurance alone could easily run you $4,000 to $5,000 a year. Add in fuel at $4.50 a gallon, plus maintenance, plus taxes. Suddenly, that $770 monthly car loan is realistically pulling $1,500 to $1,800 out of your checking account every month. If you don't calculate these hidden costs beforehand, your so-called affordable car will absolutely bankrupt you. Okay, now that we've totally exposed the dealership's playbook, let's look at yours. This is the first-time buyer playbook, your ultimate smart buyer checklist. If you follow these 6 steps, you completely neutralize these expensive traps. Step 1, cap your total car expenses, that's loan, gas, and insurance altogether, at 15 to 20% of your take-home pay. Step 2, secure that credit union pre-approval before you ever start shopping. Step 3, seriously look at certified pre-owned cars to dodge that nasty depreciation curve. Step 4, lock in the out-the-door price first. Step 5, firmly cap your loan term at 60 months. Seriously, if you can't afford the 60-month payment, you can't afford the car. And finally, step 6, when you get into that finance office, decline all those heavily marked up add-ons like extended warranties and paint protection. Actually, one exception, gap insurance is vital if you're buying new, but buy it through your regular auto insurer for a fraction of what the dealer charges. Knowing these secrets and actually sticking to this checklist can literally save you up to $14,000 over the life of your next vehicle loan. That is real life-changing money that should be sitting in your savings account, not funding a dealership's commission check. So I'm really curious, did you make any of these mistakes on your first car? Drop a comment below if you fell for any of these traps. Let's compare notes. And hey, if you found this explainer helpful, please don't forget to hit like, share it with a friend who's car shopping, and subscribe so we can keep making smart, informed money moves together. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.